Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Tabitha Speaks Politics. Yes, we are still on the road to 500,000 subscribers. So please, if you've come across this video and are not subscribed to my channel, I welcome you to click that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. That'll let you know every time I upload a video to this channel. We talk all things politics over here by way of viral news stories, and we have a good time doing it. I like to laugh every now and then about the foolishness that is happening with the executive branch, the congressional branch, and I don't talk a lot about what's happening over on the Supreme Court level. I leave that to the legal minds, the lawyers on this app. But yeah, we have a good time. So yes, I welcome you. Click that subscribe button. Let's get into this news story. Well, this story isn't so much a viral news story specifically, but a lot of the comments that this article goes on to discuss, those posts are viral. Yes, 30 days after the election, Trump supporters, MAGA nuts, are still expressing remorse, regrets, and now are also expressing fear for having voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, it's sinking in what their vote actually means. It's sinking in what Donald Trump actually plans to do to this country, not for this country, and how it could possibly affect them. This article was put out by BuzzFeed, and they found 12 people who literally had no idea what their vote meant for Trump. And so now they're over there all on social media expressing some things. And I just skimmed through them, and I wanted to come in and share this information with you. Number one, my MAGA cousin who voted for Trump texts in the family group chat. And this is what he put in the group chat. After reading the econ lecture notes, I have come to the conclusion that not only will grocery prices not drop, but the produce and other products will get worse. It's a lot to type, and I'm in public, but will expand upon my reasoning later. But expect no longer finding green bananas. Good luck on citrus, especially since limes and lemons are exported. Dessert and pastry prices will skyrocket. It's like, you know how your parents would try to tell you over and over and over again, tell you not to do something, trying to prevent you from having to experience any hurt, any harm, any pain, but yet you didn't believe what mama was telling you. You didn't believe what daddy was telling you. You didn't believe they had your best interest at heart. You had to go out and find out on your own. You disregarded them. You ignored their advice, and you went out and did the thing that they advised you not to do. That is what is happening with some of these MAGA supporters. My government contractor colleague who voted for Trump and then found out after the election that he intends to fire federal contractors on day one. So this person works with someone and they're government contractors. And I'm sure this person tried to tell his coworker what Donald Trump was planning to do. They voted for Donald Trump anyway. And now it's sinking in that Donald Trump intends to do what his co-worker tried to tell him that Donald Trump was going to do. Quote, I'm a fifth grade teacher and have quite a few special needs students with 501 plans, IEPs, and other accommodations for disabilities. Quite a few parents at my school voted for Trump because they thought he'd lower the cost of living and or because he was more anti-abortion than Kamala. Now that Trump has won and we've warned parents that we can't guarantee that accommodations for special needs students will still be functioning as they are right now because the Department of Education is on the chopping block. They are freaking out. They didn't realize that their kid would be personally affected by the Department of Education being dismantled. They're begging us to do something so their kid can keep their accommodations. Sorry, my hands are tied. End quote. So this person working at this school that accommodates quite a few special needs students, they are now informing the teachers that Donald Trump plans to get rid or dismantle the Department of Education, and are educating the parents on how that will affect them personally. Now that they understand what Donald Trump is going to do will affect them personally and not everybody else, now they want to do something. See, a lot of people, they can't see past their own hurt and pain. If something is happening that doesn't affect them, they can move on in society and not give a flying fuck about it. Most of us who understand that if such a thing is happening to one group of people, it could very well happen to the group of people that I am in. It could very well happen to me in some other capacity. So what do? We vote for all people. We vote in the best interest of all people. Selfish people don't do that. See, these parents, they had no clue about what Donald Trump was planning to do for the Department of Education. They were focused on him speaking up against abortions. They thought that he was going to make the cost of living better for them. For them. Not American, not the United States as a whole. For them. For them. So they were focused only on those two issues and how it affects them and their beliefs and their life. Not everybody else. And in doing that, they voted against their own interests. The interests of their own children. And now they're demanding that other people stand up for them and stop it. Baby, multiple folks I know had no clue that Obamacare and the ACA were one in the same, and they're having a very rude awakening. Very true. A lot of people out there are now realizing that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, are one in the same. And now they're scared shitless because Donald Trump has vowed to get rid of Obamacare. And they have the audacity to be pissed off with the Democrats, saying that the Democrats are tricking people by naming the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, Obamacare. No, this is the problem with a lot of the people who follow Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump says he loves the poorly educated because they have no clue. Obamacare, the ACA was labeled Obamacare by the Republicans, and they specifically did that so that Republicans, the poorly educated, will turn against Obamacare. Why? Because Obama is labeled after the black man. They know they hate black people. They know they hate Obama. So if they dub it Obamacare, they know these racists will hate Obamacare. And I guarantee you, I stand 10 toes down in it, that they really thought Obamacare and the ACA were two separate health insurance plans, and Obamacare was for the black people. Guarantee you that's what they thought. I guarantee you that's what they thought. They thought black people were on Obamacare. Yeah, let's get rid of Obamacare. And now they're realizing that it's one and the same. They voted against their own interests because Donald Trump only has concepts of a plan. He just had a meeting with Kristen Welker yesterday, the day before yesterday, and still has no idea of a healthcare plan to replace Obamacare. He has concepts of a plan. He's still using that term. They have nothing to replace Obamacare with. They will just get rid of Obamacare, just like they plan to get rid of Social Security and Medicare. Moving on, someone I know has issues with cancer and needs the insurance but didn't realize they may lose it due to pre-existing conditions. Yeah, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, allowed people to obtain health insurance with pre-existing conditions. Once that is gone away, we're going back to the old days where health insurance companies can deny you coverage because of pre-existing conditions. Not just cancer, diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, whatever the condition is, they can deem you as not insurable because you have a pre-existing condition. The Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, protected you from that. Number 5, I am a tax consultant. I met with a client yesterday and recommended that if she had proposed 2025 equipment expenditures plan, she may want to consider making them before tariffs take effect. It's kind of like the position that I am in now. We'll get into it. She asked me what I meant. I was the first one to explain to her who pays the tariffs. Hint, it's not China. She was crushed, realized the magic economy she expected likely wouldn't be coming to pass. So this tax consultant basically told her client that if there are any big purchases that you had planned to make in 2025, you might want to make them in 2024 because Donald Trump has promised that he would impose tariffs on China. And after he got elected, he also said that he's going to impose tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Now, for me, I can use my own personal experience. If you've been following me, I plan to buy a car. I originally planned to purchase this car in 2025. I have now moved that timeline up to purchase a car within the next 2 to 3 weeks before the end of the year. Purchase that car in 2024. If I purchase that car after Donald Trump implements his tariff proposal, his tariff policy, then the cost of my car could very well go up 25%. If it's a car that's already in the country, it may not increase by 25%, but we know how greedy these CEOs are. And if they can find a way to impose that cost, to impose that cost, to put that cost onto me so that they can get extra money, they will do it. Now, I could always think to buy used, but because the cost of new cars will increase because of these tariffs, people will not look to purchase new cars. They'll look to purchase used cars, which will drive the cost of used cars up. So now her client is crushed because she now understands that China, that Mexico, that Canada will not pay those tariff fees. Those fees are paid by the company. And then the company will then turn around and put that cost onto us, the consumer. Number 6, I live in a very red state, as in 3-1 red voters versus blue. At work, everyone was talking about the election right up to and through the election, all very pleased with themselves and their red win. However, the chatter at work has gone quiet since the cabinet nominations started being announced, as if no one wants to discuss the hilarious choices Trump has for his cabinet. Not only, it's not funny to me, the people that he's choosing for his cabinet. It's not funny to me because these people are going to upend my life as I know it here in the United States. Elon Musk told us before everybody went running to the voting booth to elect Donald Trump. Elon Musk told us that if Donald Trump is elected president, there will be a hardship on Americans. He says it would be a temporary hardship, but it will be better in the long run. I guarantee you it won't be a temporary hardship. It will be a permanent lifestyle change for Americans. And it won't be better for us, the everyday taxpayer. It won't be better for us in the long run. It will be for the millionaires and billionaires that Donald Trump is putting in his cabinet. Yes. Number 7, my granddaughter voted for Trump because of her opinions on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Learning about his policies and nominees, she is really upset. We tried to tell you, people like me, because I knew there were voters out there that were making decisions based on the Israel and Palestinian conflict. And I tried to tell you that Donald Trump would be worse for Palestinians. I'm not negating the fact that what we're seeing happening to Palestinians right now is terrible. And it is because of Joe Biden and the United States policies. These aren't Joe Biden's policies. These are the United States policies that have been in effect for decades. For decades. So this is a United States policy. Donald Trump has been elected, he will carry on the same policies. And he has come out and said that he stands with Israel. He has told Israel to finish the job. He has said that it was Joe Biden that was holding Bibi Netanyahu back. He said it on camera to reporters. His son-in-law has said it, that the smart thing to do would be to move the Palestinians out of the way because Gaza is prime beachfront property. And since being elected, Donald Trump has put out a message on Truth Social telling Hamas that the hostages that they are holding better be released by the time he takes office. Because if those hostages are not released, there will be hell to pay, which means Donald Trump will be in charge and he will give Bibi Netanyahu the full green light to go in and exterminate whoever's left. And we tried to tell you that. We tried to tell you that. But you didn't want to vote for the black woman. You did not want to trust the educated black woman who came out and told you that she is calling for a ceasefire, that came out and told you she believes in a two-state solution, that came out and told you she would do everything within her power to help the Palestinian people. You didn't want to believe that. You went with the man that traveled down to Dearborn, Michigan to smile in your face and tell you that there will be peace in the Middle East while he's out there in his campaign, at his campaign rallies, telling you what he truly intends to do. You chose to ignore all of the things that he said in his rallies to believe the lie that he was willing to tell you to get your vote. I don't believe you didn't know who Donald Trump was and what Donald Trump was saying at his campaign rallies. I believe you knew. I believe your misogyny and your anti-blackness drove you to trust the white devil over the black woman. That's what I believe. Number 8. My grandparents voted for him. My nephew is trans. I'm queer. And 2 other grandkids are two. I'm disabled, as well as my grandma's niece. My grandma is shocked, just shocked, that he is targeting trans people and putting Dr. Oz in charge of Medicaid. I didn't think he'd do that, is what she says. She says she regrets it. But what can I do now? Grandma knew what he was planning to do. Grandma knew, she understood that Republicans were targeting the trans community. She understood that, and yet she voted against her kids anyway. I refuse to believe that she didn't understand it. I believe she's using that excuse He told you, and the Republicans told you what they intend to do, and yet you voted for them anyway. Number 9, I overheard this conversation between my dad and his best friend. My dad's friend, let's call him Bob, said, since Trump won, I bet you're upset about tariffs and the economy, right? And my dad, who voted for Harris, said, no, I'm worried about minorities, like insert my name. He's trans and autistic and gets help from the school via one of those IEP plans or the 504 plans, GIE plan, and Trump is going to take that away. I'm also worried about my daughter because what if she gets an unwanted pregnancy or worse, raped and pregnant from that? He ranted for about a minute, and Bob was just like, oh, Bob has a daughter, and I don't think he even considered the present pregnancy aspect either. Number 10, my dad regretted it instantly. People are now being boldly racist to my partner, and he knows grocery prices are going up and Trump won't prevent war. Oh no. Let's go back to Israel and Palestine. He came out and said, all these people was like, he's going to prevent war. He's not for wars. He immediately came out and said, you better release those hostages or there will be hell to pay. He's been all involved in the war that's taking place between Ukraine and Russia. He said immediately after the election, he would be able to stop the war. Has he done anything to try to stop the war? No, that's because he is for war. He is for it. And the reason why the racists are even more bold now is because you voted in their master in chief. The orange leader, you voted him in. So now they're even more emboldened to be racist. I saw an Uber driver over on TikTok who picked up a customer, and the customer, of course, wants to talk to this black man. He was a black man, black Uber driver, who wants to talk to this man about the election. The Uber driver does not want to talk about the election. He just wants to make sure this person gets to their destination. Of course, it's a MAGA nut, and so the MAGA nut continues to prod and annoy and antagonize and told this black Uber driver, this is according to the black Uber driver telling his story, told the black Uber driver that, now that Trump has been elected, we're going to send all of the immigrants back to their home, and then Donald Trump is going to put you black people back in your place. How many times have I told you guys in videos that that's what they wanted? They don't care about policy. Donald Trump hasn't really talked about policy that benefits them. He hasn't really talked about it. He used certain policies to gaslight and to give them something to hold on to. They talked about the price of eggs. They talked about the gas. They talked about inflation in the economy. But they really don't give a shit about that. They really care and believe that Donald Trump will move to make black people subservient to them. He will move to make black people second-class citizens. That's why they voted for Donald Trump. Period. 11, I almost always vote Republican, but did not get to vote this year. I live in Europe and was ill in hospital when I was supposed to vote, so I missed out. However, I have several friends who are in this situation. They all drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and did not do their research as to what some future changes would actually mean for them. So now they're realizing it. Donald Trump is doing interviews telling the American people, now that they voted him into office, he can't guarantee lower prices. Who do you think he is, the president or something? We tried to tell you that the president doesn't control the cost of eggs. We tried to tell you that the president doesn't control gas prices, but he allowed you to believe that he would be able to do something about it. And furthermore, not only will he not change the price of gas and eggs, the price of gas and eggs very well may go up now that he plans to impose tariffs. And number 12. And finally, I don't know if my mom is quite at the point where she regrets her vote, but she randomly brought up earlier this evening her concern that my brother could be rounded up and deported. Backstory. He and I are both adopted. I was born in the US and he was born in Europe. He looks Latino. Well, he has mental health issues and he has been in and out of prison for the last 15 years. He doesn't have any ID. And my mom revealed tonight that apparently he was never naturalized after they adopted him. While she was telling me how worried she was, it took every ounce of willpower I had not to violate my no politics rule by saying that maybe she shouldn't have voted for the guy promising mass deportations. It's actually possible that this could happen, so that's fun. Why not violate it? If y'all have a rule that y'all shouldn't talk politics, she's already violated talking to you about what she's worried about when it comes to politics and how it's going to affect your adoptive brother and her adopted son. So why not let her know that, yeah, this is a very real issue. Donald Trump, in that same interview with Kristen Welker, confirmed that he absolutely plans to mass deport illegal immigrants. He plans to do this whole denaturalization process. Him and Stephen Miller. The number is 10 million. It's going to go higher than that. And he doesn't care where they go. He's talked about dumping them in Mexico. He's talked about dumping them in the Bahamas. He doesn't care. Plant talked about dumping them over in Venezuela. He doesn't care where they go as long as they're out of here. But I personally think that they're going to create camps and put these illegal immigrants in these camps for free labor. And it's sad that too many Latino and Latinas in this country view the illegal immigrants as beneath them. They're just going to get rid of the criminals. They're going to get rid of the bad people, the people who are here illegally. Baby, even if you are here legally and you were naturalized, they're looking to overturn that. They want you gone as well. But hey, you all voted for this. You all voted for this. It's too bad that you didn't take the time to step outside of the MAGA Republican bubble to listen to other voices and then educate yourself on what those voices were saying. You could have came to this conclusion before electing Donald Trump, before putting a dictator into office, a dictator who's going to use the presidency to not only enrich himself, but to enrich the unqualified, inexperienced individuals, the 14 millionaires and billionaires that he has announced who's going to be a part of his cabinet. I want to remind you that these people are inexperienced, lack education, and it's by design that he chose these people. They are not chosen to effectively run these agencies. That's why he doesn't care if they're educated or experienced in any area that he nominated these people for. Their goal is to destroy the agency or the department that he has assigned them to. Department of Education, the Environmental Protection Agency, the FBI, the Department of Justice, all the other agencies. Their goal is to tear those agencies down. The overall goal of Donald Trump, who is Vladimir Putin's puppet, is to destroy the United States from the inside out. And you all voted for that.